You're concerned you're not in the band because of Stevie.
That was what I was told by Irving.
You're not in the band because of Stevie. That's what I was told. Either Lindsey goes or I go. The words hit like a thunderbolt the moment Lindsey Buckingham leans forward in that newly surfaced clip, calm but unmistakably resolute. For decades, fans have whispered about a secret ultimatum supposedly delivered by Stevie Nicks, a demand that Buckingham be ousted or she would walk away. Now, in a rare and candid moment, he shatters the most persistent myth of Fleetwood Mac's history, and the reaction has been nothing short of electric. In the short video, Buckingham recounts a conversation with the band's longtime manager, Irving Ossoff, who allegedly claimed Stevie had issued an either-or ultimatum. With a steady, almost amused tone, Lindsey recalls how absurd the notion seems to him, comparing it to Mick Jagger telling the Rolling Stones to choose between him and Keith Richards. He lets the comparison hang in the air, and you can almost see the collective gasp from viewers realizing how wild the rumor has become. But then he steps in and corrects the record. Stevie never demanded his removal. The entire story, he insists, has been blown out of proportion by decades of gossip and sensational headlines. What Buckingham makes crystal clear is that his departures from Fleetwood Mac in 1987 and again in 2018 were never the result of a single dramatic showdown instigated by Stevie Nicks. Instead, they were the consequence of a tangle of factors: creative disagreements about the band's direction, grueling touring schedules, behind-the-scenes management decisions, and the natural ebb and flow of personal priorities over time. He emphasizes that while his and Stevie's strong personalities did clash, often explosively, those tensions fueled some of the band's greatest work rather than pushing one another out the door. To understand why this moment matters so much, it helps to look back at how Buckingham and Nicks first came together. In the mid-1960s, they were high school students in California, jamming in a local band called Fritz. Their musical chemistry was electric from the start, his finger-picked guitars weaving around her haunting, ethereal vocals. They developed a personal bond alongside their artistic partnership, and in 1973 they signed with Polydor to release the album Buckingham Nicks. Though it failed commercially, the record caught the attention of Fleetwood Mac's representatives, who were desperate to reinvigorate the band's sound. When Lindsey joined Fleetwood Mac in late 1974, he insisted that Stevie Nicks be included as a condition of his membership. That bold move set the stage for rock history. Their self-titled album in 1975 exploded in popularity, and the following year's Rumors became a cultural juggernaut. Yet even as Stevie and Lindsey helped craft one hit after another, their personal and creative lives were dissolving around them. Romantic heartbreak and artistic disagreements were writ large across tracks like Go Your Own Way and Dreams. Those songs weren't just catchy singles. They were therapy sessions set to melody, each note a confession of wounded hearts. By the time the group reconvened to record Tango in the Night in 1987, years of simmering tension finally boiled over. What had once been a source of brilliant creativity had become, in Buckingham's words, a pressure cooker. During one fateful meeting, tempers flared so violently that Stevie allegedly struck Lindsey. The altercation was a breaking point that prompted his first exit. Still, even in that moment of raw conflict, there was no manager whispering an ultimatum into meetings. It was simply two people at the end of their tether in a highly toxic mix of personal and professional stress. After stepping away, Lindsey found he couldn't stay away forever. In 1997, he reunited with the band for the massively successful The Dance Tour and the album Say You Will. The chemistry was undeniable, and audiences embraced the classic lineup's return. But history has a way of repeating itself. 2 decades later, on the eve of a major world tour in 2018, another dispute, this time over setlists and creative control, led to his second departure. Again, rumors swirled about who was to blame, but Buckingham points to the cumulative weight of business decisions, management pressures, and long hours on the road as the real catalysts. In his recent interview, Lindsey doesn't shy away from admitting that he and Stevie have had their share of fierce battles. He acknowledges that their creative visions sometimes diverged so sharply that arguments were inevitable. Yet he insists these clashes were part of what made Fleetwood Mac special, the friction between two strong artists pushing each other toward greatness. Our music was a reflection of that, full of passion and sometimes pain, he says, and any true fan can hear the raw honesty in their classic albums. Perhaps most significantly, Buckingham reaffirms the deep respect he has always held for Stevie Nicks. Despite the headline-grabbing riffs and relentless tabloid focus on their drama, he stresses that Stevie remains an incredible artist and a big part of my life. Those words are not scripted public relations platitudes, but the genuine reflections of someone who has spent half a century collaborating and creating unforgettable music with his former partner. In that sense, the clip does more than dispel a rumor. It humanizes the legends and reminds us that the stories behind the songs are as layered as the lyrics themselves. This revelation resonates far beyond Fleetwood Mac fandom. It shines a light on the way myth and reality intertwine in rock history, how a casual remark or a heated argument can morph into a career-defining legend. Buckingham's frankness cuts through years of assumptions, inviting listeners to reconsider not just the rumor of Stevie's supposed ultimatum, but the very nature of creative partnerships. Behind the myth of the mercurial diva and the tortured auteur are two people whose collaboration was as tumultuous as it was transcendent. In the final analysis, what Buckingham has done is restore balance to a narrative skewed by sensationalism. He hasn't pulled punches about the difficulties of working with someone you once loved, nor has he downplayed the intensity of the conflicts that erupted over albums and tours. But he also refuses to reduce those years to a simple tale of make her choose. Instead, he offers a nuanced portrait, two artists locked in a lifelong dance of harmony and discord, whose greatest triumphs emerged from that very tension. When the screen cuts to black at the end of the clip, you're left with more than just a debunked rumor. You're reminded that legends are made in moments of both conflict and compromise, in heated studio sessions and midnight jam sessions, in the glare of arenas and the hushed corners of recording booths. Buckingham's words resonate because they are, at their core, the truth of two intertwined lives and two voices that, together, changed the face of rock music forever. Perhaps the most important takeaway is the enduring power of their music. Whether the story is Windsor Castle-style scheming over band lineups or two souls colliding in creative ecstasy, the songs remain unassailable. Rhiannon, Landslide, The Chain, Go Your Own Way, Dreams, each bears the imprint of lives lived in the tension between love and loss, ambition and art. And that is the real story Buckingham wants us to remember, that the alchemy of discord can create masterpieces, and that the truth behind the greatest songs is rarely as simple as it sounds. As fans continue to debate and dissect every syllable of Lindsey Buckingham's revelation, the biggest victory may be this: a chance to listen anew. To hear those classic Fleetwood Mac records, not as relics of some backstage power play, but as the authentic outpourings of two artists whose partnership was as fraught as it was fruitful. In clearing the air, Buckingham has done more than correct a headline. He has opened a door for all of us to step back into the music with fresh ears and rekindled wonder.